Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello and welcome. Welcome to your energy update for the week of June 23rd. And it is the last week of June. It has been quite a month, hasn't it? Yeah, I was feeling like, we must be going into July this week. Nope, one more week. July is next week. So we will be diving into the energy impressions for the month next week. But yes, this end of June, in hindsight, I am a bit surprised at how transformative the month has been for me personally, but for so many others that I've been connecting with. And how about you? Can you think back to the beginning of June and then where you are now as you're listening to this? What has changed? June really felt like the kind of turning point of the year, not only because it's the middle of the year, month-wise, but also the energy that we are turning a corner. And maybe the world is not really reflecting that right now, not turning a good corner anyway, but the energy has shifted. And since this is the last week of June, so much of the overall energy of June that I talked about at the beginning and then throughout the weeks has come through again during my meditation for this week. And it really feels like, yes, throughout the month, many of us have met new depths of ourselves again, or maybe for the first time. And this could have really left some of us feeling some loss, maybe a loss of the time not spent taking care of our full selves. And it really does feel like this is another week in June to another opportunity to tend to our energy. And because all of this kind of cumulative insight over the month came through during the meditation and a few new insights for the week, I do want to get right into it, right into the energy update for the week of June 23rd. And for any new listeners to the energy updates, welcome and welcome back to everyone who joins us every week. But for anyone new, for these energy updates, I go into a deep meditation using my intuitive abilities and insights with the intention to receive guidance for the week ahead, to receive anything that will offer us more clarity as we navigate through the week, and anything that will help you connect to the language of your intuition. And I also offer a few journal prompts at the end that will help you connect even further to what may resonate with you. And I do feel like these energy updates are an intuitive practice of discernment for you, a type of intuitive development. Because by listening to everything that I translate, listen and trust. Trust what resonates. Trust your intuitive pulls or little kind of hits of resonation. Take what you need and then make sure to not second guess yourself. If something doesn't resonate, leave it. That means it's not for you. Trust what is for you. All right. So the first thing that came through in my meditation was a giant spotlight on our solar plexus. And I had to look back afterwards before I started recording because I knew that that did come through in June at some point, and it was the first week of June. So the first week of June, we had a big focus on the solar plexus. So it makes complete sense that we would need to focus on that again at the end of June. This whole month has been a big test of how much we can relax into our inner strength and power. So this week, pay attention to the energy that you hold within your solar plexus, about 3 inches above your navel. This is where we connect to our inner power, to our light. This is where we hold our will and our trust. This is our inner sun. This is where we connect to our feeling, our depth of feeling in feeling confident and clear and fearless and completely open to be seen, regardless of perception, to be seen in our authentic, powerful light. And our solar plexus is also where we hold the energy where we can connect to the energy, our moving energy of our will and our trust. The power to feel that clear and confident depth of worth within. And it does feel like that big spotlight on our solar plexus is a call to keep paying attention to anything that is happening in that area, to bring your awareness there. But there was this feeling of releasing the pressure that we may have placed on our shoulders, maybe pressure of responsibility. Because this pressure, this weight on our shoulders, may be weighing our hearts as well, weighing down. And that weight could be blocking our solar plexus, could be making our solar plexus energy contract within. And then all of that energy is not knowing where to go. So then you may start feeling tension or unease or sometimes even pain. Because all of that pressure does make it very difficult to breathe out and allow that light of ours, that natural, beautiful light of ours to shine. And part of this attention to your solar plexus, if you're not feeling as much of that pressure, part of this call to attend to your solar plexus this week could be about maybe different ways that you have been feeling about how you express yourself. Maybe you are changing the way that you feel the need to express yourself. Maybe you feel like you are changing. Maybe you feel like you have changed so much, but could you actually be more yourself than ever? Maybe you're transforming more into yourself, your authentic self. And that is bringing a lot of awareness to the power you hold within. Your authentic energy could be flowing through you very differently than you have experienced it before. And perhaps because of all of the space that you've made for yourself and your energy and your expression and your light recently, or maybe over the past year. And as you've been integrating all of these changes, It is so important to pay attention to how you're feeling, but it's also critical that you commit to finding a way to ground your energy daily, to call back your energy, to feel your energy. And there are so many ways to do this. We've talked about it many times, so many different meditations and practices, a simple grounding meditation. I have my call back your energy meditation, going out into the world, stepping out into the grass, being near trees in nature, but also placing, one hand on your heart and one hand on your solar plexus, on your stomach, and just breathing, just allowing yourself to breathe in and breathe out, breathing in and breathing out. Any way that you can support yourself to have a simple daily practice to connect to your energy, to ground yourself any way that feels good to you, to come back to your breath. That is a key. And your nervous system, this beautiful part of your energy that affects every aspect of your being, your nervous system needs you to be consistent, especially right now, specifically right now in this time. We can't wait until we feel like we really need it, because then we're catching up. Not that it's too late, but it's not the most supportive. When you tend to yourself with these daily, small, short practices, it's cumulative. It builds. And then the next thing that came through was this beautiful scene of painting with watercolor. So swaths of watercolors, big strokes painting in all different tones of the rainbow across a canvas, big scenes, like very detailed but open. And this really felt like a call to our vision. And maybe it is even a bit of a medicine to what may be bubbling up from our solar plexus needing to be tended to. So the doubt and the uncertainty and the indecision, it feels like this watercolor, part of it is about getting back to our vision, remembering what we can create. But because of the watercolor, it reminds me of our emotional depths as well, our emotional landscape, water being a symbol for our emotional body and our emotional energy. And it did feel like as the watercolors were being painted, that the solar plexus energy was relaxing, was balancing, was opening up. And the watercolor really does remind me of the new moon that we have this week, the new cycle that we're starting. And I always love to be inspired by the astrology. And so in the astrology of Cancer, we can be inspired to really journey within, which is what we have already been talking about, but inspired to go within, to care and nurture ourselves. Because the sign of Cancer is really linked to the energy of the mother. It inspires connection to our intuition and sacred boundaries, our empathy, our nurturing self, our inner world, the deep, deep landscape of all of our emotions. And in the meditation, it really felt like a bubbling up of our emotions this week. Could be not for us to throw ourselves on the ground and give up, but more of a call to connect back to ourselves. But it was interesting because in the meditation, when I felt that bubbling up of the emotions, connecting back to ourselves, I did see kind of hand moving away from the phone. And that made me feel like, okay, these are practical, intentional ways that may support us this week to connect back to ourselves by taking a break from scrolling, from the bombardment of terrible news that will be there when we get back to it, unfortunately. Not completely checking out, but remembering that we don't need to be swimming in it. It also feels like this is a week connected to that to really honor connecting to our vision again, to the watercolor of emotions that are creating something within our mind's eye. So instead of consuming, we need to be creating, but from within. And that felt like this week is a great week to stop consuming so many ideas and opinions and content from other people before you have a chance to remember your own ideas, your own opinions, your own creations. And this does feel like it could include any AI assistance. Like if you truly don't need to use something like ChatGPT, then why are you? Is it because you want to get something done quickly? Why are you in such a rush? Is it because you're looking for clarity and connection and understanding? Well, for both of those things, those are both invitations to turn back. Turn your inner vision back on. And this week, this new moon cycle feels like it is really supporting us to go within and get back to our original vision, meaning our unique vision, our own, not one that is created for us, but one that we truly created to connect with what our vision is. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to literally see something in your mind's eye. This is about connecting to your creativity, allowing your emotions to speak. So right now is the time to remember what is unique and innovative about you, about your thoughts and feelings and opinions and ideas. What do you know to be true for you? And by bringing that inner vision back, turning it back on, looking within, journeying within, this is the thread that can bring you back to your body, but to feel embodied. Our emotions can be like the embers that can guide us back to ourselves, that can help us remember, back to the present, and back to trusting what our intuition is telling us to do. Back to what we really know to be true about what to do next, to trust that inner guidance. So much of our time can be spent checking off lists, making sure that every step is the right step and is improvement, is improving our lives and the lives of the people around us. So much focus on, is it good? Is it right? Is it the right way? Is it what I should be doing? But in a similar energy, so much time can be used to focus on what we're not doing that we inadvertently become stuck and then nothing gets done. So it feels like this week is kind of move away from either of those energies and come back to yourself. What do you know? How are you feeling? What do you feel like you need to do? What if you gave yourself a break? What if you actually took that next step that you've been waiting to take all month, all year? What if you gave yourself permission for that thing that you have maybe been waiting for somebody else to give you permission to do, or have, or say? What if all you need to know is here right now, and maybe on the new moon, or this week anytime, we can take time to really pay attention to what we want our world to be. Not just yours, but ours. And it may sound counterintuitive to go within to find that. But if you really connect to your inner truth, your inner guidance, really listen to the language of your intuition, that is what our world needs. If each one of us does that, then do we fulfill our own destiny? And then we actually, by doing that, fulfill the destiny of the world? Why not try? And if you do like the idea of drawing out that inner vision in your mind's eye, the watercolor again feels like our emotional energy is the medium, the lens that we view what we kind of dared to create for ourselves through. So it's a practice of picturing, envisioning in your mind's eye, allowing your imagination to be a translator for your intuition, allowing your emotional energy to be a translator for your intuition. And then you get to trust your feelings to show you, to trust your feelings to show you what you desire. Planting the seeds by using your vision, your inner vision. What if your vision is as powerful as literal seeds that you need to grow something physical? And then, if our vision is the seed, then maybe allowing and listening to our intuition to speak, actually trusting it, and taking action on what you hear or feel or know, however your intuition speaks. But by listening and actually doing the thing that you feel your intuition is calling for you to do, that's how you nurture the growth of the seeds. That's the water and the sun and all of the good fertilizer, all the things that help something grow. And this month has been showing us kind of where and what and how our lives are not aligning with our honest, authentic vision. That's probably why it has been so rocky and uncertain, but also very busy. So many of us are being asked to take a big leap, begin a new era, which can sound fun and maybe even exciting. But before any big leap and fast movement or expansion, we tend to experience the feeling of pulling back, of being stuck, of not knowing what to do. We feel the tension, the contraction. We experience all the things that are really in the way of our personal power. And if this is resonating with you, then pay attention to your solar plexus. Care for it. You can listen to my free meditation on Insight Timer. I have a healing meditation for your solar plexus there. That might be a beautiful one to do this week. But trust the feeling of where you are being called to go. And know that this may be the time right before the big next thing. The thing that you have been working towards, desiring, wanting, envisioning. I heard a birth doula. I wish I knew her name, but I do not remember. But she was on a podcast and she was talking about how right before the baby comes out, she said 99% of mothers say this. And that's when the birth doulas know that the baby is about to be born. And what happens right before is something the mother says, and that is, I can't do it. So for any of you that have been trying, and if this past month or just the last few weeks have really been testing that trying, and you feel like it's not happening, if you feel like, or if you've literally said, I can't do it, just keep going because it is right there. It's almost there. And I feel like that's why the solar plexus is back again to remind us that when we say, I can't do it, then we can connect to that energy, our inner sun, that powerful light within to remind us why we need to keep going, why we need to keep doing it, why we can't give up. And don't forget, this also came through in the meditation, and I remembered, oh, this was also part of June. We need some lightness. We need to take things not so seriously. We need some playfulness, some childlike wonder, some enthusiasm. So if you do find yourself maybe getting a little weighed down by how serious everything is, because it is serious, but we don't have to carry that in a serious weight all the time. We do need to play a bit. So only really a few things came through during the meditation, but they held a lot of insight. But then, my favorite part of the meditation every time for the energy update, and in my work too, are the animals that come through. And the animal for this week of June 23rd is the lemur. If you have not seen a lemur, look one up, have a look. They're super cute. They have a ringed tail, black and white. They have these big, beautiful eyes, these tiny little ears. They are a primate, but they are very specific. They are only found in Madagascar. But there are over like 100 species. And they are so special, and their energy is so beautiful. And yes, now that I'm saying it, of course, yes, the lightness, that playfulness, that is what the lemur really represents too. So another echo of that, don't take things so seriously if you don't have to. And the lemur can inspire us this week, so listen to what I describe and the energy and connect to what it reminds you of, what it makes you feel or think, and yes, let's see what the lemur can offer us. So the lemur energy represents playfulness, honesty, respect, positivity, community, laughter, connection, fun, kindness, and connecting to your silent wisdom. And then the one fact about the lemurs that I thought was A beautiful connection for the energy update this week is that lemurs are crucial seed dispersers. They are called creators of the forest. So we have the grounding, we have the creation, we have the seeds. So lemurs help maintain forest diversity, structure, and dynamics through the movement of seeds. Many of Madagascar's flowering plants and tree species depend highly on lemur species to disperse their seeds. So, this one very unique animal that is only found in this one place is responsible for many of Madagascar's flowering plants and trees, depending highly on the lemur to disperse their seeds. So the energy of the lemur this week is supporting us, helping us disperse our seeds of creation, our vision. Through playfulness and respect and honesty and positivity and laughter and community and connection, trust the seeds that you are planting. But don't forget to do it. Action needs to be taken too. If the lemur only collected the seeds or thought about the seeds or knew what they were supposed to do, but didn't, they wouldn't be the creators of the forest. They would be dreamers in a place that was once a forest. So don't forget about the movement that you are feeling a pull to take, because that is part of the vision. But it doesn't have to be hard. I feel like that's what the lemur is really reminding us about. All right, so yes, I did ask many questions throughout the episode, but I did want to offer a few journal prompts to help you integrate and connect even further. So, with these journal prompts, you can answer them in a traditional journal. You could answer them as a voice note. If you have a friend that you like to do things intuitively or spiritually, development wise with, you could ask each other and send voice notes to each other. Any way that feels good to you, answer them that way. And you can answer all of them or one of them or none of them. Really trust what resonates. And the first question, describe the changes you have been going through. Describe how you have changed and how the changes have impacted your mind, your body, and your spirit. And a second question, where in your life are you paying too much attention to detail and maybe missing the point or missing the bigger picture? And a third question, what intentions can you set for the new moon this week? But you can also commit to tending for the next month. You can begin your intentions with, I am so grateful to create or receive, and then write in what you desire to create or receive or experience. And then a final question, what part of yourself feels too bright, too powerful, too much? Write down everything you can think of, and then imagine that your friend or child or someone you deeply care about was telling you the same things about themselves. How would you respond to them? And then respond in writing or in a voice note, however you like to do it. But this is a great way to shift your perspective. So try your best to be as honest as you can with yourself about what feels too bright, too powerful, or too much within. And then imagine that it is someone else that you care about telling you the same things. And then how would you respond to them? If that one resonates with you, do that one for sure, because that means that there is a part of you that needs your attention deeply. And this is the week to do it. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Intuitive Seek, your energy update for the week of June 23rd. I would love to hear if you resonated with any of the energy that I have been feeling and that I received about what we are moving through for this week ahead and more. And if you have any thoughts or questions, truly, please do not hesitate to send me a message. You can send me a message through my website, treenlight.com, or through my Instagram at treenlight.healing. And if you're curious about working with me, go to the show notes and you'll see links there that you can tap on to explore all the ways that I can support you. And if you haven't already, hugely appreciate it if you subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give a little bit more support to the podcast, please share this episode with a friend or leave a review. They are so helpful and really help other people find it. So thank you so much again. Be kind to yourself, and I'll talk to you next week.